If you are running Google Ads for a local service business, and you might be wondering what kind of results a certain budget can bring, in this video I'll walk through different Google Ads accounts where they spent around $3,000 and share how many phone calls came in during that time. So let's get started. So guys, if you're a local service business and you're wondering how many phone calls or form submissions you can get with 3,000 ad spend with Google Ads, then in this video I'm going to share with you some of the accounts and how many phone calls or form submissions, or we can track conversions and how many of them we can get with $3,000 ad spend. And the accounts that I'm going to show you are in different industries and their monthly ad spend might be different and their locations can also be different, but overall you can have an idea how many phone calls you can get with Google Ads with that ad spend. So if you're a local service business and you want to get phone calls or form submissions with Google Ads and your daily budget is around $100 per day, then this video might be helpful so you can get a high level overview of what you can expect with your budget. A quick reminder, I've generated thousands of phone calls using Google Ads. If you want to copy my exact Google Ads campaign structure to generate phone calls, I'm giving it away for free. You can use it as a blueprint or copy it into your own account. Link is in the description below. So the first example is a business with the main goal of generating as many phone calls as possible from Google Ads. And with around $3,000 ad spend, as you can see, it is almost $3,000. It has generated around 277 phone calls and 166 conversions. And we're getting more phone calls than conversions because these phone calls can include some repeat phone calls, or they might have some missed phone calls, or some phone call quality maybe, let's say, less than 15 seconds, 20 seconds, which might not be included in the number of conversions category as well. So because of those kind of reasons, the number of conversions can be less than the number of phone calls. And this cost per conversion number is calculated using these conversion numbers, which is around $18.57. And this number is quite cheap, and you might be an electrician, or you might be a plumber, or let's say a garage door repair company, and these numbers might be quite cheap because their average CPC can be this much. But this can happen in some of these industries with well-managed campaigns and highly targeted campaigns, and you can also create relevant landing pages that can turn some of those clicks into phone calls. And this business operates in the state of Texas, and I would say in that area the competition is really high, and they've spent this much budget, around $3,000, in less than a month. I would say in around 20-21 days. And some businesses might spend that much amount of money, let's say, in 1 month. And the average CPC in this industry can range from, let's say, around $4 up to $10, $11, $12. And again, from those clicks, your goal should be to generate as many conversions as possible. And the next example is another service business, and their main goal is also to generate as many phone calls as possible. They can also generate some form submissions as well, but recently I've also removed forms from their landing pages so that we can spend more of our budget on phone calls rather than also getting some form submissions. But overall, this business would also get, let's say, around 5% of the time forms from their landing pages. And they've got around 123 phone calls and 113 conversions. And again, this cost per conversion is calculated using this number, which is around $27.39. This is also cheap compared to other advertisers in this industry. And again, with this type of business, you should be building call-focused campaigns to generate as many phone calls as possible from your clicks. And this has been running around 15-16 days, and in 15-16 days they've spent around $3,000. And the main goal of this business is, regardless of the ad spend, to generate as many phone calls as possible and to keep the cost per conversion low. But of course, the ad spend cannot go, let's say, 500, 600, 700. I'm trying to keep the ad spend around 200 to 400 range, and sometimes it can go a little bit higher than that. But the main goal, again, to generate as many phone calls as possible or as many conversions as possible, and try to make the cost per conversion cheaper. And this business operates in the state of Florida, and they operate in multiple locations in that state. And also we've tried 2 more states just to see how they would perform. But overall, that's what they've achieved after spending around $3,000. And the average CPC in this industry might range from, let's say, around $3, $4 up to $10, $12. And the service type of this business is also urgent. So people might be looking for something urgently, and they can just call from their mobile phones. And the next example, this specific client spent also around $3,000. I tried to add 1 more date, but the costs were much more than $3,000. That's why I think this number is closer to $3,000. and the number of conversions is 20, and their average CPC is high, as you can see, $17.82. And in this specific industry, the average CPC sometimes can go to $40, $50, and I've also seen the average CPC around $80 as well. This is a high ticket industry, and from one service, they can get revenues, let's say at least $500, if not more than $1,000. And they've spent this much amount of money in around, I would say, 15, 16 days. And with conversions, we're mostly tracking phone call related conversions, and they can also get form submissions as well. And both can be equally important in this business category. And their cost per conversion is around $146. Usually their cost per conversion can be, let's say, close to $100, but because of this seasonality factor, the cost per conversion can be higher at this time of the year. And this specific business also operates in the state of Florida, and it is also a competitive area. And this business can spend, let's say, $3,000 in 10 to 15 days. So depending on the types of business you have, $3,000 can generate you different types of results. So let's say if your service category is urgent, your conversion rate can be really high and your cost per conversion can also be lower. But you need to be considering average CPC as well. In certain industries, even if their service category is urgent, even if their conversion rate is high, their average CPC might be really high. So let's say if you're in electrical industry, your average CPC might be high. Let's say it can be around $15, $20. And your job is to generate as many phone calls or form submissions as possible from your clicks. Or let's say you might be in the plumbing industry. Again, your average CPC can be slightly higher. That's why you need to be focusing on generating call-focused campaigns or landing page structure to generate as many phone calls as possible from the clicks you can get from Google Ads. Or let's say you are in the towing industry, where the average CPC can be lower and your numbers such as cost per conversion can also be lower. Or you might be in the locksmith industry. Again, the same thing, the category is urgent, but the average CPC can be lower. And if you can increase your conversion rate, you can increase your chance of getting more conversions at cheaper cost per conversion. And whenever you are building your campaigns for service businesses to generate phone calls from Google Ads, from your keyword research to your ad group creation, ad copy creation, and overall campaign structure should be focused on generating as many phone calls as possible. So that can also help you get more phone calls from your clicks rather than just sending traffic to your website. And let's say once you've built your Google Ads campaigns, you need to also work on your landing pages. And let's say this is our landing page, because I cannot share the landing page of the client. And your landing page should be focused on generating as many phone calls as possible at the initial loading screen. And they don't have to scroll down. And at the initial loading screen, they should find your headlines relevant to what they're looking for. You can also add your unique selling points. You can also add your trust factors, and you can also add your call to action, so that with that way you can maximize your chance of generating phone calls from the traffic that you can get from Google Ads. With my own clients that I manage, I try to build their landing pages myself using my own templates for free. Otherwise, I may have to work on their generic types of landing page, which many people might have, and that can also affect the overall results we can get from Google Ads. So the landing page is also another important factor when you are running Google Ads for your business. So guys, these are some of the examples of the accounts which spent around $3,000 and generated different results. Again, if you guys want to copy the type of my Google Ads campaign structure, you can click the link in the description below. Or if you guys want my help to generate phone calls for your business using Google Ads, you can also apply to work with me and we can see whether we can work together. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video and see you guys in my other videos.